Play the games you want, wherever you are.
Hello Switch fans, and hello November. Welcome back to VJor Gaming. Yes, it's the fourth quarter of 2024, and if there is one thing we all look forward to 2025, that would be the Switch's successor. What RPGs are you looking forward to play on the Switch 2? And have you heard the best news so far? Yes, the Switch's successor is backwards compatible. And yes, Switch fans, we eating good. Then I ask, when is the best time to collect goodies for the next Nintendo console moving forward? Now is the time. So here are more games to add to your Switch library, both digital and physical. For today's video, we have 7 essential gems of JRPGs to add to your collection before our new backwards compatible Switch successor comes out. Up first on our list, this one is from Square. Star Ocean, First Departure R. So, we recently got the Star Ocean second story for the Switch. We finished it, and then again, multiple times to get other characters and multiple endings. And yes, it's a good solid JRPG by its own right, but with its popularity, it kind of cast a shadow over the first Star Ocean game on the Switch, which is Star Ocean First Departure R. More so that this game does not even have a physical copy. We got it cheap from the eShop when it was on sale. So, let's talk more about this one. In Star Ocean First Departure R, our tale begins on the primitive planet of Roke, where Roddick lives in the peaceful and uneventful town of Kratos. As a member of the village's local defense force, tasked with the protection of Kratos, Roddick learns of a mysterious disease that has broken out in the neighboring town. Those infected turn to stone, but continue to live on in a petrified state. Roddick, along with his 2 friends, Millie and Dorn, make their way to the neighboring town. Informed of a cure for the sickness, they head to Mount Metor, where a healing herb is rumored to grow. When they reach the summit, the party encounter Ronix and Ilya, who appear before them in a pillar of light. Thus, the story of Star Ocean begins.
For us, the real adventure begins now.
Next game on our list for the second pick, we have Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, HD Remaster. This was originally released back in the good old days of the PlayStation 2. It was remastered and got ported to modern consoles and Steam. Now, with the popularity of its spin-off franchise, which is Persona, and the recent releases of both Persona 5 Royal and Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance, this game was almost left in the shelves collecting dust. Yes, we finished it, fought the secret boss, and got the secret ending. All we can say is Demi-Fiend hits hard. In Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, reawaken your inner demon in a modernized version of the acclaimed Atlas classic. What begins as a normal day in Tokyo turns out to be everything but when the conception, an ethereal apocalypse, is invoked. The remains of the world are swallowed by chaos as a demonic revolution descends into a broken city. Caught between a battle of gods and demons, the choices you make can bring life, rebirth, or death and determine who triumphs.
The world will fall for its sins.
You can say it was a lazy port. Yes, it's dated, with its janks and dips here and there, but overall, an epic JRPG with unforgiving battles, and still holds its essence as a true Shin Megami title. For our next pick, for game number 3, Earthlock. Another rarely talked about RPG, oftentimes not even mentioned in hidden gem videos. Originally released back in 2016, with the Switch port that arrived later at 2018. It has a physical release published by Super Rare Games. You can still hunt for copies of this game, although it is somewhat rare already. We just got the digital copy. It is cheap on the eShop, goes for as low as less than $5 when it is on sale. In Earthlock, enter a beautiful world haunted by its fateful past and join a party of unlikely heroes on their journey to rescue Amon's uncle from an ancient cult and uncover the secret of Earthlock. Explore the magical world of Umbra, fast-paced and highly strategic turn-based battles, Harvest magical materials to craft helpful items and perks on your home island. Utilize your talent table, combining a classic skill tree and equipment to customize your character's progression. Alternate between 6 playable characters. Grow your friendships between different character pairs for a strategic advantage in combat. Help the people of Umbra along the way to unlock more useful items to aid your quest in Umbra. For our 4th pick, next game on our list. Hero Must Die Again. Another classic RPG, just one of the gems hiding in the Nintendo eShop's library. There was a physical release for this game, but it is now a hard find because it was printed by Limited Run Games. We can probably wait for a sale on the eShop, so if you like what you see, keep it in your wish list. In this game, you are the hero. Your last memory is fighting with the demon Guile and felling it, thus saving your world. However, you seem to have died in the process, and now you cannot remember her, the one for which you went alone to fight the demon. Due to your great deed, the gods have given you 5 more days to put your affairs in order. But time will quickly take its toll, and you will grow weaker as the days pass. Fantasy anti-RPG, where the hero starts at his strongest and grows weaker as time passes. Over 50 different endings depending on what the hero accomplished. 8 unique heroines to woo, each with their own personalities and motivations. Which is the one you were protecting? Visit the world you have just saved and resolve remaining problems to lead it to the best possible future.
Welcome to Feed Your Gaming. Get the couch, start playing. Rare games from your pouch. Metroidvanias and RPGs too. So hang on tight, grab your Switch like we got Switch games to do.
Enjoying our video so far? Please hit that like button to show us your approval. And if you're feeling generous enough, kindly subscribe, as it helps us with the algorithm, so we can pump out more videos like this for your entertainment. Now let's get back onto our list of essential gems of RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. Number 5 on our list, a game from NIS America. Destiny Connect, Tick-Tock Travelers. An RPG developed by NIS America. It has mixed reviews. It is a solid and compact game, does not take too much of your time, cute art style, and a generic cast, but the best part of this game is its battles. There are Western and European copies of this game on physical. If you're interested, you can add it to your wish list and wait for a sale if you don't mind digital copies. The town of Clockney is celebrating the advent of a new millennium, when time suddenly comes to a halt, and a horde of hostile animated machines appears. It's up to a young girl named Sherry and her friends to unravel the mystery behind the strange events. Together, they'll revisit the past and peer into the future, learning some very interesting things about their families and their peculiar town. Explore the enigmatic town of Clockney and watch as the world shifts around you based on your actions. Use your mechanical skills to fend off hostile machines and manipulate parts of the environment. Enter workshops where you can improve your items and equipment using gears. Will Sherry be able to solve the mystery before they get the best of her? It's up to us to find the answers. Pick number 6, here is Tales of Vesperia, Definitive Edition. Originally released in 2008 for the PS3 and later ported for the Switch in 2019. With the Tales of Symphonia that was released recently, and Tales of Graces that will be released later for the Switch, and who's to say Tales of Arise can be ported on the Switch too later, not much is talked about for Tales of Vesperia, but, in our opinion, a deserving 8 out of 10 rating for a JRPG on the Switch. A power struggle begins in a civilization dependent on an ancient technology, the Blastia, and the empire that controls it. The fates of 2 friends, traveling separate paths, intertwine in an epic adventure that threatens the existence of all. Dive into the definitive version of this game with updated full HD graphics, brand new music tracks, exciting minigames, bosses, and a collection of unreleased costume DLC. 2 more playable characters join the fray. Patty Fleur, a cheerful and tough young pirate girl in search of treasure, adventure, and her forgotten memories. Flynn Sifo, Yuri's best friend and an Imperial Knight, now joins the rest on their journey. And last but not the least, for our 7th pick on today's video. Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream. There are dozens of Atelier games out there for the Switch. A new Atelier game is coming out next year too, titled Atelier Yumiya. And with Ryza's 3 thick and chunky games on the Switch, hogging all the spotlight, Sophie was snubbed aside. So there are 2 Atelier Sophie games on Switch, but the first one is hard to access because it does not have a physical Western release on the Switch. Although a digital copy of Sophie 1 is available on the eShop, the Asia English version of Atelier Sophie 1 is also printed together in a bundle with 2 other Atelier titles, so this copy is already expensive. Sophie 2 is also cheaper than other Atelier games out there on the Switch, just saying. With that, let's talk about Atelier Sophie 2. Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream, continues the story of Sophie and Plachta's many adventures. After leaving Sophie's hometown, the pair discovers a huge tree, and as they get closer, a mysterious vortex pulls them inside. Sophie awakens alone in a curious new world, and it's not long before she hears about an alchemist named Plachta that lives on the outskirts of town. She meets a young alchemy enthusiast named Plachta, and even though the alchemist shares the same name as her friend, she doesn't recognize Sophie. What other surprises await Sophie on this journey? As the adventure continues, Sophie meets aspiring alchemist Ramazel, who willingly agrees to help her in her time of need. Yes, we finished 3 of Ryza's glorious games on the Switch, and in our experience, Sophie 2 stands out more with its battles. It feels somewhat more dynamic. The button input response rate as well feels quicker and seamless with every command, and the game engine is very stable in high frames, even with the battle animations running on the ×3 speed mode. You don't even need to worry on the story from the first game. This one we highly recommend. That was 7 of our picks for essential gems of RPGs on the Switch. This is our longest video for our channel so far, but of course we can make it even longer. How, you may ask? You got it, a bonus pick. So here it is, our bonus pick for essential gems of RPGs on the Switch to play before the Switch 2. Here is Lost Sphere. This is published by the studio Tokyo Factory RPG, the same team who made its more popular titles, Oninaki and I Am Setsuna. Now, as of a couple of months ago, Square Enix abolished that studio, Tokyo Factory RPG, and absorbed the staff members to their main company. So yes, this small team will not be publishing games under their studio anymore, and Lost Sphere is their last game published for the Switch before the absorption. Lost Sphere was an instant rare game during its launch, because you can only buy it on Square's online store. Thankfully, a couple of months later, it got reprints for other regions. Restore memories to save a fading world. The adventure of Lost Sphere begins in a remote town of Elgarte, where a young boy, Kanata, awakens from a devastating dream to find his hometown disappearing. Facing an ominous power that threatens the fabric of reality, he must awaken the power of memory to restore the lost. To stop the world from disappearing forever, Kanata and his comrades set out to rebuild the world, mustering different memories, and crafting the world around them. And that, my fellow Switch fans, completes today's video. Thank you very much for sharing us your precious time. We really do appreciate it. Thanks for helping us with the algorithm by liking or commenting. Subscribing also would keep you updated on our picks and recommendations of games to play on the Switch, especially now that we learned the Switch is backwards compatible. And most importantly, please do mind yourselves out there. This is VJor Gaming. See you later.